Hello everyone, this is Team 11 Epiphany, and our project is hacking events. The case is flash loan attack. This video is about our debate. In our debate, in the pro team we have Li Jiarui and Shen Yuyi, and in the con team we have Huang Yitong and Kenna. But for some issues, Kenna can't show up this time. So firstly, I will introduce what is flash loan. The concept of rapid lending was first defined by Marble Protocol in 2018. Marble markets itself as a smart contract bank with a simple but brilliant DeFi innovation, risk-free loans through smart contracts. It may be hard to understand, so let's begin our debate, and after debate you may be more familiar with this concept. So first is the pro team.
First of all, I would like to talk about what a flash loan is. The concept of a flash loan was first termed by Marble in 2018. Marble market itself as a smart contract bank, and its product was a simple, brilliant innovation: zero-risk loans via a smart contract. However, how can a loan have zero risk? Traditional lenders take on two forms of risk. The first is default risk. If a borrower runs off with the money, that obviously sucks. But the second risk to a lender is equity risk. If a lender lends out too many of its assets at a wrong times or doesn't receive time repayments, the lender may be unexpectedly illiquid and not be able to meet its own obligations. Flash loan mitigate both risks. A flash loan basically works like this: I will lend you as much as money as you want for this single transaction, but by the end of this transaction, you may pay me at least as much as I sent you. If you are unable to do that, I will automatically roll back your transaction. In short, the flash loan is automatic. If you fail to pay back the loan, the whole thing gets reversed as though the loan never happened. So let's think about the economics here for a second. Traditional lenders are compensated for two things: the risks they are taking on for the opportunity cost for the capital they are lending out. For example, if I get 2% interest elsewhere on that capital, the borrower must pay me more than the risk-free 2%. Well, flash loans have no risk and no opportunity cost. This is because the borrower frozen time for the duration of their flash loan. So in anyone else's eyes, the system's capital was never at risk and never incurred. Therefore, it could not have earned interest elsewhere. Well, I mean, it did not have an opportunity cost. Indeed, flash loans should be free. Basically, more properly, there could be a small enough free to the cost of including 3 extra lines of code to make an asset flash lendable. That's all.
So you basically state your opinion together. Okay, so I think the advantage of the flash loan is very clear in nowadays because it's based on the decentralized finance, and it can provide lots of convenience for us. But however, I think you should pay attention to one of the big events happening earlier of this year. That is called the flash loan attack. I would like to provide a basic background information about this event. BZX had 2 attacks in the last week two attacks DeFi smart contract and all sorts of DeFi loopholes exist in the process of the combination of the products and through the new species of Lightning DeFi ecological credit, and that is referred to flash loan. Within a block can be reimbursement without collateral characteristics can be let oneself without any chip, like the company through the pre-written script to borrow again through the large loans for leveraged deals and for relatively small amount of market manipulation in order to achieve a profit. And that is the basic information about this event. And next, I want to state my opinion. And the first, I would like to talk about the potential leverage crisis about this platform. This product provided by the DeFi. For platforms, the potential risks of Lightning lending outweigh the benefits. The platform charges fees per second, and the platform has no revenue from the Lightning loan, but the potential for leveraged attacks on other platform is unlimited, which means that it's a kind of arbitrage. I think it's just people will can lend the money or borrow the money with a very low cost and sell all his money on another platform at a very high price and get a huge profit, and that is very dangerous for most of the time. And the second is based on this arbitrage. I think this is the problem because DeFi would be the hot debate of flash loan malice. Because I have seen flash loan defended by the classical efficient market theory. Indeed, arbitrage is the natural behavior in financial markets, and the main purpose for the flash loan is to arbitrage. But according to the classical efficient market theory, healthy arbitrage can help the market return to equilibrium and repair the difference between value and the price. However, in the case of BZX, the attacker first used flash loan to cause market failure to own Uniswap and then arbitrage on BZX. Therefore, please do not use the arbitrage behavior of efficient market theory to defend flash loan. The problem with the flash loan is not market effectiveness at all. The root of the contradiction is that the flash loan in DeFi, a free, open, unregulated, and automated financial market, can be a sharp weapon for malicious attacks. And this product provided by this platform, this DeFi platform has another big problem, is that the short-term loss minimize the stigma of an attacker. If I had an idea of how to, for example, if I had an idea of how to manipulate Oracle money for nearly $10 million ETH. Even if I had that many ETH, I probably wouldn't want to risk my own money because my ETH will be tainted. The exchange may refuse my deposit, and the money laundering becomes much more difficult. And it will definitely has a risk. But if I make a $10 million flash loan, who cares? There will be benefit for all. So the pool of collateral that I got my loans from, DYDX is not going to be polluted, and the contamination of DYDX going to disappear to same content. I think maybe that is the deficiency of this platform, and this is where the platform can be improved in the future. So that is my opinion, Stella.
So is there anything you want to add for the host team?
So for me or for whom? Anyone else is okay, but I just want to say that this maybe this is just the beginning of the decentralized finance. So everything will be matured at the beginning. So and the platform as well. And although there may be some deficiency and problem at the first time, but maybe it will become better in the future uh, and we can discover the problem earlier the better, I think, because we can minimize the loss, the lose maybe as possible as we can, I think. Now that's all.
So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, I can understand your means. I believe that everything could be better. And first of all, I want to reach a consensus with you. Do you know that all operations of flash loan are conducted on the blockchain? Do you know that?
Block what?
Blockchain.
Blockchain. Yeah,
Yeah, blockchain.
I got
Okay.
that.
Okay. Therefore, from this point of view, some attacks on flash loan by the opponent's debater are invalid. In other words, some attacks of yours is useless because I remember that you mentioned that you mentioned that the flash loan could lead could become a hotbed of malicious arbitrage, 恶意套利的温床, right?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it. Actually, if you learn about the blockchain, you can know that all the operations is obviously, or in other words, is transport. It's transport.
Transparent,
Yeah.
right?
Transparent.
Transparent.
Yeah.
That
Transparent.
maybe that is the problem of the DeFi. I think not the flash loan itself, because it is on the DeFi this automated and very open and without any supervision and the ultimate financial market. Maybe some people may have another an intention to do something maybe it's not very good, and the flash loan maybe itself is may not have very big problem, but it is in the DeFi these markets, and maybe these markets has need to be more need to be improved in the future, I think. And the flash loan maybe itself, I think it don't have very big problem. I think it's just DeFi this market.
Okay, I understand you mean.
Yeah.
I have to say, I must to admit that the risk you mentioned is real because the attack is happened. The attack is proved that there must be some risk. So I understand you mean, but I want to ask you a question. Should we object to something that brings risks? I think no. If we if we object something just because this thing can can bring the risk. Some of things we use, maybe we can't use. For example, car. It can lead to accident, right? But should we object it? I think no. The
Yeah,
flash
so I
loan,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, so maybe we should provide more rules, or maybe to improve the operation mechanism, and to, because I know the flashing is just happen in the few lines of code. So maybe for the engineer and for those who are major in this area could improve this situation, and to just to reduce the loopholes as much as possible, because if the code, if the code is if not perfect, maybe the attacker may find the loopholes among the few code. So I think I don't want to deny that the flash loan is not a good thing, because it's just follow up this trend, and it's just a symbol of decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is very good, but I agree that everything at first cannot be perfect enough. So we could just think about how to improve it in the future, and to minimize our lose, and maybe to prevent those attacked events as possible as we can, I think. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
want to deny that that is not a good thing, because we couldn't just define the thing as good or bad just by whether it has the risks or not, because everything I think in the world almost has risks, and this is not mean it doesn't mean that having a risk is a bad thing, I think. On the other hand, maybe having a risk is always having a profit, and this is why people like to try doing that, I think.
okay. So, good news. I think we reached a consensus. Yeah?
Yeah, yes, I don't want to deny that the flash loan is not a bad thing. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
But yes, it has a problem. Just we discover that those problems good, because we know what is it, and we could figure out how to just solve this problem, and how to just improve our financial system, just like this. I don't want to deny that. Yeah.
Okay, so you are not against the flash loan, just hope it can be improved.
It can, yeah, I don't want to say that it is as a bad thing as can be happen. It's just I think it's just a symbol of our nowadays society, and it really could provide very big and huge convenience for our daily life, and maybe in the future this kind of mechanism could be more matured, and they can benefit most of us, I think.
Yeah, the improvement is inevitable. Flash loan is very young, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
There is
So
still
there
a
need to
lot
be
of
more
room. Yeah.
adjustments and improvements, I think.
Yeah, there is still a lot of room for
Yeah.
improvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
all. Instead, you can just conclude.
Yeah, okay. So I will give a conclusion based on both teams' bullet points. It's a very simple summary. So basically, the flash loan itself is a very useful financial tool. As the pro team points out that this is a free object, and its biggest advantage is that it can protect the benefit of lenders. The more specific in this mechanism is explained clearly by the pro team, so I will pass this. Uh, Since the loan is happened in the environment of DeFi, it has the advantage of decentralized finance. Like it's transparent, can happen at any time, and can be monitored by everyone instead of only a few specific people. But there is also the an advantage for the flash loan since it can protect a hacker to some extent. According to some already happened cases, it's hard to find exactly who is the hacker, so we can say that it minimizes the stigma of attacker. In another point, since flash loan is originally used for arbitrage, it is likely that a leverage attack will happen and become increasingly serious. Finally, it will have a negative impact on the whole DeFi. So we are glad to reach an agreement that flash loan is a very useful and good thing itself, but it is also has a big risk. So we are looking forward to some improvements in the future. That's all about our debate today. Thank you.
Yeah.